Hi there, my name is Logan Kelly and today I'm here to pitch you my idea, but before I get into it, I just want to give a quick content warning. Topics include mental health and suicide, so if you're not comfortable hearing about this, then please step out the room now. So, without further ado, am I ready to start?
Yeah.
Cool.
Absolutely, yeah.
Alright, so the name of my pitch and project is Primes, and I've chosen that as very deliberate because each room my character is going to be in is going to be a specific focal point in the camera, so that's where I've come from the term primes, and that's what links it back. Now, my idea is about a man who he commits suicide and he ends up being trapped in limbo, and he has to travel all throughout his past memories and experience some of the good things, some of the bad things. I want him to go a little bit in the future into like a timeline where he did kill himself and see how it affects other people, and he slowly kind of comes to this realization that, you know, that's not what he wanted, and he decides to walk away and live. Why do I think this idea is important? Now, it is one of those topics that isn't talked about very much in the media. It's not shown on the news. You know, you'll never go on like BBC and they'll say about people killing themselves because they're a bit scared to talk about the topic. About a month ago, it was a friend of a friend. I probably met him like 2-3 times. He took too many drugs and ended up just killing himself. No, nothing. And it wasn't like shown about anywhere, like no one talked about it. We like in the group, we only talked about it the day we found out, and then that was like it. It's one of those taboo topics, and I think it's really important we shine a light on these experiences that people are having. I mean, you see it all the time in the Tyne-and-Weir Bridge. People are, you know, the police are talking to them, the police talk to them about it. I think it's really important that we talk about it and we show it in the media, and people that feel like that realise, you know, maybe, you know, killing themselves isn't the right way, you know, seek help. So, for my storyboard, I'm just going to briefly touch about this because I don't have too much time. But right at the start, I want it really, really shocking, so you're not actually going to see him. I'm going to have a shot of like a close-up of the chair, and you're just going to hear the noise of him dropping in the break of the neck. I'm going to record some Foley, maybe like snap some celery or something to get some like some nice sound effects. And then I'm going to have him wake up in the field in limbo, and he's going to find this door and walk through, and then he sees him and his family talking and like a family meal. He's then going to go through some more doors and see when he was like as a kid playing basketball with his mates, and they're talking about like the future and what they want to be. He's then going to travel through, and he finds himself even deeper in limbo and starts talking to like some strange people around that are like giving him advice, and he's like moving slowly through each door and each timeline, and he's like coming to these conclusions, and it's all just a bit of self-discovery. He's then going to go into the future where he did actually kill himself and see like people talking about him, and he's all just kind of come to this realization about how, you know, people did actually care for him, and that they are sad that he died. And then he's going to return back to where he was with the rope, and he's going to put it down and walk away and decide not to. My visual feel, I'm very inspired by Homunculus, which is it's based off a Japanese manga, and it is about a man who discovers like his third eye. I really love the cinematography and lighting techniques in it, and since mine is very much a concept of in limbo, I feel like some of the techniques and visual effects that they use to show him like seeing ghosts and entities would be really useful, especially like the half yellow lighting tones. I feel like that would be really interesting in some of the rooms. Stay, which is a movie about a man who wants to kill himself. I really like how sappy the dialogue is. It's very toned down, it's very gritty, you know, there's no humour in it or anything. I also really love the transitions in it. It's got some of the best transitions in any movies, and I feel like from door to door and place to place, if I can incorporate some transitions to make it smooth out, it will add like the dreamlike feel I'm looking for. And my favourite director, Yoichi Ozu, I absolutely love his work and how his whole philosophy is on simplicity, he invented the tatami shot, which I'd quite like to use. I used it in my past short film, The Carer. I plan to use the coloured green screen for some of the door transitions, so I plan to bring in a fake door, and that's how I'm going to be able to comp it in to make it look more realistic, and how I'm going to get the thing to work. I also want to try and make, if I have time, a scene in Unreal Engine and have a room done that way, because I think that would be really interesting, and it'll be an easier way to tell my story than trying to find places. And for planning, I've contacted local charities, so I'm just waiting for them to get back to me to see some insight of how it actually is in real life and how it affects people and some of the therapy they go through to try and, you know, if they're asking for help, what are the steps in place. I've also contacted the Actors Forge, who I've got actors before for my last short film, so I'm hoping to get some more for this one. I'm just going to briefly touch over locations. I went through all the sort of risks, like if I'm working in the studio, we've got cables, equipment. If we're outside, you know, don't worry about civilians, you know, all that sort of stuff I've kind of put in place. I've got a schedule on that, but I'm not going to touch on that at the minute because we've got to keep the short nice and condensed. So for feasibility, it's going to be quite hard. There's a lot to do, a lot to work out. I've kind of proved myself I can do it from my last short film, The Carer, where I went to about 5 different locations. I brought in, I think, about 5 different actors from all over the place. So I think this is something that, if I try really hard, I can get it all nailed down and complete. Overall, like I said earlier in the pitch, it's just one of those things that I think needs to be talked about more in the media, and that's what I would like to do. I'd like to give a voice to people that don't have a voice. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you.